So ladies and gentlemen, here we have the chairman, Ambassador V.Mahalingam, IFS retired, former High Commissioner of India to Guyana, to come over and address the gathering. So please do come forward, sir. A big round of applause. So ladies and gentlemen, I request the spectators. Thank you so much.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். Distinguished speakers who are on the head table, Dr. R. Sitaraman, Chief Executive Officer, Doha Bank, Qatar, Mr. A.S. Panneerselvam, Reader's Editor, The Hindu, Mr. G. Ramprasad, Milestone Incorporated, Washington, distinguished invitees, good evening. The theme of the conference, Thirekadalodiyum Thiraviyum Thedu, Thediya Selvathai Valarchi Paniyil Podu, which may literally mean go overseas to earn wealth, invest in the path of progress. It is this reason behind keeping this topic, global economic situation, opportunities and challenges, as the foremost subject in this prestigious conference. I may say that though I had been indirectly involved in this conference during its immediate earlier 3 sessions, I am finally privileged to take part in the 6th World Tamil Economic Conference and the first Global Economic Summit 2019. I know how much efforts have gone into organizing these conferences, and where it is today is due to the sole efforts of my good friend and convener of this conference, Dr. V.R.S. Sampath. I always admire his ability to bring together the global Tamil economic community under one umbrella. Many of his friends envy that he never gets tired and remain active during the deadly hours of the night. Such commitment only has made the organizing of these series of conferences successful. I know as an ambassador of India what role an ambassador is expected to play to promote a country abroad. Dr. V.R.S. Sampath's efforts in organizing these conferences by bringing in the global Tamil economic community is highly commendable, and I may say that his role is as important as designated Ambassador of India. I would like to recommend to both Government of India and Government of Tamil Nadu to honor him by bestowing the title of Ambassador at Large. The purpose of the topic, Global Economic Situation, Opportunities and Challenges, in my opinion, is to provide an opportunity to look around the global economic situation and to look for trade and investment opportunities, taking into account the constraints and challenges that may come across. According to the United Nations Organization, the global economy may show a steady pace of growth of around 3% both in 2019 and 20, having expanded at a rate of slightly over 3.1% in the previous year. In a broad brush, we may see the USA, the largest economy in the world, projected to decelerate to 2.5% in 2019 and further down to 2% in 2020. The second largest economy, the European Union as a whole, is expected to experience a steady growth of 2% in 2019 and 2020, though the risks are tilted to the downslide from the fallout of Brexit. China's growth is expected to moderate from 6.6% in 2018 to 6.3% in 2019, with policy supports partly offsetting the negative impact of the trade tensions with the USA. IMF's estimate of India's growth for 2019 is around 6.1%, and it is expected to climb up to 7% in 2020. Several large commodity exporting countries such as Brazil, Nigeria, and the Russian Federation are expected to see a moderate pickup in the growth during 2019 and 20, albeit from a low base. If you look at the global economy, the top countries, of which India is in the sixth position now, account for nearly 70% of the world GDP, and the remaining 30% is accounted by more than 200 countries. The UN prediction is that the global rate has already peaked, and the sustainability of the global economic growth faces many challenges on financial, social, and environmental fronts. The issue of concern today is that the economic growth is uneven and is often failing to reach where it is most needed. Per capita income is expected to grow only marginally in 2019 and beyond, particularly in several parts of Africa, West Asia, and Latin America and the Caribbean. The achievement of 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development containing 17 goals may be impossible unless a double-digit growth is achieved with steep reduction in income equality in Africa, where more than 50% of globe's 700 million people who live below poverty line. This is despite the fact that there are only 34 countries which are classified now as low-income countries globally, as against double the number some 2 decades ago. The low-income countries' heavy reliance on agriculture makes them vulnerable to climate change and extreme weather events, and their scope to boost external trade is limited by many factors, including geography. For the global economic situation to improve, particularly in emerging markets and low-income countries, there is a need for recovery in investment growth, need for halting the global warming, and also simultaneously enhancing the greater international cooperation on green technology, including transfer of technology, need for a flexible and responsive multilateral system, including halting of the escalating trade tensions. The global situation is certainly not in favor of tackling all these in the earlier listed wish list. The past few years have seen anti-globalization moves in several advanced economies in the form of wave of nationalism and economic populism. While America First is a slogan of the USA, Britain is on the move to make Britain great again with the withdrawal from the European Union. The USA's approach to replace the rule-based economic order with transactional approach has largely undermined the decades-old international economic, financial, and security arrangements that have provided ground rules for the global economy. Such a zero-sum perspective of the USA also put the country in tight spot when questions arise about its continuing hegemonic role in the global security scenario. The withdrawal of the USA from the Paris Climate Agreement on the plea that it imposes unfair burden on the USA is another blow to the efforts towards green development initiatives. The USA has also threatened to withdraw from the World Trade Organization as it considers the WTO rules unfair to it largely, and it happens to lose many trade disputes. Going by the trend, it is quite unlikely that in the next 12 months, these issues relating to the wave of nationalism will recede. The rule-based global economic order will therefore continue to suffer. Dear friends, this does not mean that we have to be pessimistic about the future. Good and bad economic situations are cyclical. One need not wait for the situation to be absolutely normal to start a new venture or even to expand the existing ventures. While the three other distinguished panel members here on the head table may have their own views on global opportunities, I would like to highlight a few areas with a broad brush. Traditionally, Indians have been showing less interest in the Latin American and Caribbean countries. There is a need to look and focus on this region as there are many unexplored and not fully exploited opportunities. These opportunities do have complementarities with the need of our nation as well as the strengths and expertise that India has. One such area is food security. India's food requirement has been on the rise not only due to the growth of population but also due to increase in quality consumption. Nearly 20% of the population is still undernourished. The peculiarity of the Indian food consumption is that the Indian consumers are food sensitive, as they are mostly vegetarians and shun any cooking oil which is not vegetarian based. In essence, India needs pulses and vegetarian cooking oil in large quantities. The Latin American countries, which have large tracts of virgin lands of millions of acres, which are available for contract and large farming to grow such foods. The other area is energy security. India's energy consumption is expected to grow 4.5% every year in the next 25 years. Latin America has tremendous potential, especially in the oil reserves of Venezuela, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, and Argentina. With the lack of necessary infrastructure, these countries are unable to fully monetize or maximize their energy potential. On the other side, Latin American countries, which fall in the tropical region, have high potential for green solar energy. While India can partner with these countries for exploitation of hydrocarbons, India also has the potential to assist these countries in the area of installing solar parks as well as wind energy projects. India's pioneering movement of International Solar Alliance and the concessional funding assistance provided to potential countries under the alliance may be of use to those Indian investors who would like to venture into not only Latin America but the entire globe. As former High Commissioner of India to Guyana and also Ambassador of Caribbean Community, I should speak about the opportunities in Guyana as well as in the Caribbean region. Guyana, which has the majority of Indian population, is the newest member of Oil Club, where with the huge discovery of offshore oil and gas, the commercial production has already started in the last week of this month. With the expectation of 1 million barrels of oil production per day in another 5 years, Guyana is already on the track of explosive economic growth, with many experts suggesting a sudden jump of 20 times the present GDP in the next few years, and it will become one of the richest countries in the region. This will provide immense opportunities in real estate business, such as construction of high-value condominiums and housing complexes, super specialty hospitals, and infrastructural facilities such as building shipyards, airports, roads and bridges across the crisscrossing rivers, in addition to building industrial infrastructure. The 15 Caribbean islands in the region, what we know them as West Indies, which are in the backyard of the rich North America, attract millions of Western tourists as they are on the, and also they are on the lookout for investment in renewable energy sector, particularly solar energy, hotels, resorts, including Ayurvedic wellness resorts and specialty hospitals for promoting medical tourism. Another unexplored potential that exists in establishing of medical universities in the English-speaking Caribbean islands, where already thousands of Indian and foreign students are studying medicine. I would like to conclude by saying that any opportunity seen today takes a couple of years to become reality, and hence the Indian investors should start looking towards now instead of waiting for the global economic situation to become much favorable later. If you wait for such a situation, it may end up as a last opportunity. Hence, act now and do not wait. Thank you. Thank you for listening.